Hi, I'm Christiana Ailfson. I'm the Education Director over at the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula. And if you're watching this, either you stumbled upon our activity kit playlist on our YouTube page, or you got an activity kit from a super cool place like All Nations Health Center or Boys and Girls Club, or maybe you picked it up from us at the fort. So here's the activity kit that I was talking about. And this is for the workshop called Visual Storytelling, Design a Caring Creature Companion, which is by Stella Nall. So Stella was nice enough to do this workshop for us in person once, and then she passed along the instruction sheet. And then I'm making this video here so that it'll be easier for you to be able to make your own caring creature companion. I'll tell you more about what that is. Now, all of the instructions and the pictures that I'm going to be showing you and the words that I'm going to be telling you are from Stella Nall. She's an artist, and we'll talk about her in a moment. So I am not the artist from this. I'm just helping facilitate this a little bit. So this is a project that this workshop is part of a project called Resilience Through Representation. And this is a bigger project that involves an exhibit and a webinar that is trying to help us find ways to help folks in our community express their feelings during COVID. My intern, Eamon Ormseth, and I sat down a few months ago and thought, you know, this is a really historic time in the world history. And we wondered how we could help people communicate their thoughts about it, and then also try to find out what kinds of groups or people don't get recorded in the historical record. We found out that kids are one of those groups that don't show up as much in our history books, as well as Indigenous folks and people who are living in different kinds of housing situations like group homes or homeless shelters. So we're trying to collect stories and pictures and art from all kinds of people around our community. And we'd love it if we could put your art on display. But even if you don't want to put your art on display, you can still participate in this workshop. So let's get down to what is in your activity kit. Now you'll have an instruction sheet that we're going to go over that Stella put together that'll tell us how to make our caring creature companion. And then you're going to have a Ziploc baggie that has most of what you'll need. I do realize that we didn't give you any newspaper to put down, so hopefully you have something that you can work on so you don't get paint on your table. You'll have a little piece of wood that's got a hole drilled in it so that you can hang it up when you're done. But if you don't have an activity kit at home, you could take a piece of paper or some cardboard, or you know, with your grown-ups' permission or your roommate's permission, make sure that you don't go paint in something they have set aside. You'll also have 4 different kinds of acrylic paint, and they're kind of random. So this one came with a couple of different browns and a couple of different blues. You're going to have a big paintbrush, or maybe a foam one like this. That's to paint our background color. We'll have a medium paintbrush. Might be gently used like this guy, or it might be brand new, maybe to paint our creature's body. Then you'll have a smaller paintbrush that's going to help us with details, although you can always come back with markers too later. And then just for fun, you're going to have one of Stella's Catter Bear stickers, and then a sticker from the museum that has our friend, the snowshoeing rooster. Okay, so that's all of our ingredients. I'm going to stick these back in here. Now, if you're doing this on your own, you can use whatever kind of paints or things that you have at home. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if you and a friend or a family member got 2 kits, like one for each of you, you can always share paint colors. Nothing wrong with that. The other thing you'll have in your packet is a little information form if you do want to put your art into an exhibit, but I'll tell you more about that later. Okay, let me see if I can figure out how to screen share and show you my slideshow. Here it is. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here. Oh, I got a blue screen of doom. There we go. Okay. So this workshop is a partnership between the Historical Museum at Fort Missoula, the Zootown Arts Community Center, All Nations Health Center, Jeanette Rankin Peace Center, and we were awarded the Citizen Diplomacy Action Fund grant to help us buy all the paints and things. And like I said earlier, this is all based on an idea by artist Stella Nall, who is a local artist here in Missoula. And this is Stella here. As you can see, she is a Montana-based multimedia artist and poet. That means she uses all kinds of different paints and materials. She graduated from the University of Montana in 2020 with a BA in psychology and a BFA in printmaking and a minor in art history and criticism. She's involved in the community of Missoula by playing in the local band Crybaby and frequently sharing her visual artwork through exhibitions, publications, murals, and interactive installations which invite community participation. Her work lives in numerous public and private collections, including the Montana Museum of Art and Culture and the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian. I just saw a newspaper article the other day that says that you'll be able to see Stella's art at the bus transfer station downtown. She's doing murals on the concrete pillars, so that's going to be really neat. And then she also painted a mural near the Zootown Art Community Center. So you can see Stella's art if you live in Missoula while you're exploring downtown, or also on her website, which is stellamarieart.com. Okay, before we make our own creature, I'm going to read what Stella had to say about it. So let's see. This is the story of the Caterbear. Scientists have long been wondering why sometimes one can feel so terribly sad and anxious in the evening, then go to sleep and wake up feeling a little bit better. The things they ask things like, where does the sorrow go in the night? How do things feel better if nothing has been done about the situation other than a bit of sleep? And why is it that time seems to heal emotional pain, even if the memory, event, or situation itself cannot be changed? The answer to these questions is the Caterbear and its eating habits. Soft and kind, the creature uses its many legs to meander through the mind and gently munch away upon any anxiety or sorrow that it may find there. Shy creatures, they often prefer to do their eating while humans sleep or hide behind other thoughts. As a result, they often pass by unnoticed, leaving only a lack of sadness to mark they were ever there at all. This is why sometimes people develop depression more often in the winter. Caterbears are still a bear of sorts after all. While they don't completely hibernate through the cold months, the dark and snowy days do sometimes make them quite sleepy. As a result, they end up eating less during this time of the year, and sorrow can begin to add up in their absence. When people take antidepressants, most of them are just filled with little Caterbear eggs. This is why it takes a few weeks for the medication to show any results in most people. The eggs need time to hatch. It is recommended to get lots of sunlight to keep the bears awake and to exercise regularly because they often come out and eat when humans are distracted by whatever strenuous activity they are doing. Sometimes life is difficult, and it seems that one bad thing after another happens. So many hard feelings may fill the brain that the Caterbear becomes full and cannot eat them fast enough. During these painful times, it's nice to take comfort that the Caterbear population is well fed. It may take some time, but the little creatures are very thorough in their snacking and will eventually eat all of the horrible thoughts and leave the mind clear and well. So that is Stella's Caterbear story, and we can see her Caterbear here on the main screen there. So the goal of this project is to create a creature friend that helps you tell a story and can help solve a problem or bring something happy to your life. This can be anything at all. Do you love bananas? Perhaps your creature can make unlimited bananas at any moment. It can be any color, texture, shape, or size. You can name it whatever you want. Stella says for materials, you're going to want a small wooden panel, but you can use anything you have like paper or cardboard. Paint, we're going to use acrylic paint if you got the activity kit. And remember that stuff could stain if you don't wash it up quickly enough. But you can also use latex house paint from Home Resource. They've got lots of really cool stuff there. You're probably going to want some scratch paper or pencils so that you can brainstorm or sketch out ideas and writing drafts of your stories. You'll want paintbrush of various sizes like we've got. You might want printmaking or wood carving tools. That's maybe for older kiddos or grown-ups, or littler kiddos who have a grown-up with them to help. You're gonna need your paint, or you might want to have paint pens if you have them, or maybe you can use markers later. you'll need a cup of water to wash out the brushes between colors. That's one thing we forgot, was to put a cup in our activity kit. And then you'll want a plate or a palette for mixing colors on. So that could be a paper plate that you have around, or a piece of cardboard. Okay, so we already met Stella. So now to make your own creature, and as you're looking at this, you've got it in your written notes from Stella, and we'll find a way to put those on the museum's website so that if you didn't get it in an activity kit, you can have it at home. But for now, we can look here. We're going to cover our surfaces with newspaper so we don't make a mess all over the dinner table or your carpet or whatever. And then your next step is you're going to paint your background color. So we can see in the picture that Stella provided there, she's got a little painting table, and she's painted one solid color. So decide what color you want to be the background, and you're going to paint the top and the sides of your little square. Now we have to wait for it to dry, and you can always pause this video or come back to it later if you want to go do something else and then come back. But in the meantime, you can brainstorm what your creature likes to be, or it might be. So let's see, what does she say here? Well, I'm going to read her step 2. For your paint the background color of the panel, this can be any color, but lighter colors may work best because the creature will go on top of it. While you're painting the color, you can start to think about if there's a problem that you have, and then a way it could be solved by a creature. We will further develop this idea while the background color is drying. So this is where we are now. For example, oh heck, I sure am sad these days. Good thing the Catter Bear is so friendly and loves to eat sorrow. Make sure to paint the edges of the panel too. Okay, so step 3, brainstorm ideas for what the creature can help you with. If you already have a plan for what you want your creature to do, great, write it down. If you're feeling stuck, it may help you to make 2 lists. Stella suggests, number 1, make a list of issues you would like to solve, or things that you don't like. For example, feeling sad or anxious, a dislike of mushrooms, wanting more sweaters, wishing that you could fly, etc. And then your second list should be a list of solutions to these things, like the creature eats sorrow or anxiety. Creature eats mushrooms, makes sweaters, has wings, and can carry around as if you are flying. You could also make a list of things that you love. Perhaps the creature doesn't solve an issue, rather just brings something happy to your life. Examples: the creature makes everything purple that it touches, can translate puppy thoughts into a language that you understand, or it makes cupcakes, etc. And then step 4, oh, I think I skipped step 4 when I did this. Step 4, you're going to sketch out what you would like the creature to look like. If you're feeling stuck with how to start, you could think of one of your favorite animals and write down how you would describe it to someone who'd never seen it before. Then pretend that you've never seen it before, read your description, and draw based on that. That sounds pretty fun. You can also try sketching out animals that you're familiar with and adding things to them that don't normally exist. Stella says, a cow, but with hands instead of hooves, a duck with 4 legs, a cat with wings. So I think you kind of get the idea there. So then the next step is to paint your first layer of the creature. So you can see from Stella's pictures here that her background is dry, and then she makes a little outline of what her creature is going to look like, and then she paints it in with her main color. Now, in your little activity instructions here, she has some examples for what color you might want to have for your animal's body. And she uses a color wheel to help you understand like primary colors and complementary colors. So if you had a red background, it might be nice to have a green or blue creature. I know that you've got a little bit of a challenge there because you've only got 4 paints that we sent you. So see if you can find one that you think would stand out against that original base layer. Okay. I think I got my numbers a little bit screwed up here, but that's okay. The last step is you're gonna, after your main layer of your creature dries, you're gonna add fine details of the creature. So this is where you can use paint pens or carving tools if you'd like. You can also add details with a smaller brush, a pen or pencil, or any other material of your choice. So I have this short little video here. Hopefully I can figure out how to make it play. Oh, I don't think it's gonna let me play it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. And so this is a video of Stella time-lapsed. So she is using a carving tool. You can see that she's got her main background color, and then she's done her creature in a complementary color to that yellow. And then she's using a wood carving tool to make different texture on her creature. Oh, and there's her foot. Okay, so now the next step here is we would like your creature to join our exhibit. So one of the things we're doing is we are going to put together an exhibit. And so we're looking for art from people that are 18 and younger who have done this workshop or one of the other workshops that we're going to have in the future. Or if you have some art at home that you'd like to contribute, that would work too. But the prizes are going to go to folks who have done art based on one of our workshops. If you have the activity kit, there's a sheet that says more about that. But if you have questions, you can contact me. And my name, Christiana Aelfson, is there with my email address, which is equally hard to spell, and then a phone number. You can also get a hold of me through our Facebook page or through our website too. And I can tell you how to enter your artwork and anything else that you want to have, any questions you might have that you want me to answer. Another thing I'd like to say is if you have really strong feelings about art or expression or representation and you want to be in our exhibit committee, we would love to have some young folks from the community join the committee to help us figure out how to display the art and then what words we should put to go with it. So if you're one of that might interest you, then I think you should contact me about that too. Let's see, let me stop my share there. Okay, I'm super looking forward to seeing everybody's art. I'm sure Stella is too. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And in the meantime, I hope you have a lot of fun making art and expressing yourself and thinking about all the things you want to see in the world and how to represent that as art. And we'll see you again in a few weeks with another activity.